Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I would like to teach you how to take care of your Lost Ark Korean account so that you would minimize the chances of being flagged and eventually getting locked out of that account. Now, since 2018 I've been actively playing Lost Ark in Korea. Since the Russian release, only maybe once or twice a week, but before that I was doing it every day, and since 2018 November I had at that point 3 accounts. Now I'm left with 2 because one of them did get locked out. Now, having only 1 account locked out of the 3 that I started with initially, and by the way I've been playing all of these 3 accounts on a regular basis, I think it's a nice success compared to the stories that I see flying around. People have been banned on 5-6 different accounts. So I want to share what I do with my accounts to try and keep them safe. The thing you need to remember with playing any game in Korea is that it's not because of you personally that they want to lock Westerners out. We're not allowed to touch their games. It's actually because of the accounts, the ones that you buy to play games there, the ones from those dodgy websites, New Gameway. You have nothing else to do. You cannot create your own. So yes, of course, you should buy them from there, but they're still dodgy. And because of how those accounts were created in the first place, that is the reason why your account or you get flagged and eventually locked out of your account. They're not using a legitimate phone number, a different legitimate phone number for each of those accounts that they sell. They sell hundreds, thousands of those accounts. They don't have thousands of different Korean legitimate contracts for phone contracts, right? So because of these reasons and how they create these accounts, that is why you get flagged and eventually banned or locked out, etc. So most likely it's not you who has done something very wrong to be locked out of your account. It's actually the account plus a little bit of question marks from your side, but we're gonna discuss these so you can fix them in the future. Yeah, we're gonna start off with me giving you a couple of pointers, quite some pointers, and then towards the end of the video I want to sit down with you guys and show you a couple of errors that the Korean client gives and how to deal with them, or what do they mean, right? First of all, never close your Stove client before closing the English patcher, because the next time you launch your game, the Stove client is going to ask you to do a file check if you've left the English patcher open. Now, there is no need to rage quit Lost Ark and rage shut down your PC, right? You're playing it in Korea, so take it easy and do the necessary steps. A very important step is always closing the patcher before closing the Stove launcher. Next time you're gonna log in, you never know when they're gonna send, the Stove client is gonna send over the logs, and those logs that you've checked files 10 times in the past month include English patcher files being there in your game files, and that's a clear sign that you're not from there. You've purchased an account, because they also know how this works, right? They know you cannot register your own account. They know you're purchasing accounts registered in a bizarre way, God knows how. So please keep that in mind, to always close the patcher before closing Stove, and then, you know, next time you launch the game, you launch the patcher again, etc., and you're patient and you wait. Another thing I want to mention is never log into Stove launcher before starting exit log. Now, starting the Stove launcher without a VPN is okay, because they don't know yet which account started it. But entering your username and password in that Stove instance that's not running through exit log is just you telling them, hey guys, look at this, is my real IP. I live in France and my name is Jacques and I'm launching the Stove client. And by the way, yesterday the same user and password has played Lost Ark, a game that I'm not allowed to play. How is that a thing? So please always keep in mind to launch exit log. Have exit log launch whenever you start your PC. It doesn't bother you. It's such a nice tool. It takes so little resources. You're not gonna feel it. Just so you're safe that if you by mistake you're rushing in because you're missing that timer on that island, double clicking Stove and entering your user password, at least it goes through exit log, that user and password, and at least you're protected with the VPN. Number 3 is don't chat in LFG. Never do it. Don't chat in parties. As a matter of fact, don't chat at all. There is literally no reason for you, a Westerner, to start chatting, especially in public places where other players can see it. In Korea, they have a very nice and easy feature to report. It's a right-click report. Simple as that. There is no need, absolutely no need for you to start being bossy, for you to start teaching Koreans that raid fight, for you to yell at them, swear at them because they're bad at PvP or you've lost some raid. There is no need. Always remember that you are there and you're not supposed to be there, number one. And also remember that you are there as an exclusive opportunity to try out this lovely MMORPG. That's not your jam, that's not your account, that's not your region. Don't chat. There is no need. Don't even whisper to your English-speaking friend. Why not use Discord to chat instead of typing English characters in chat? It's one of the easiest ways for the devs to see. It's exactly like in other MMORPGs where if someone reports you for a bad language like Guild Wars 2, they can so easily check the chats or your chat history that you cannot imagine how easy it is for a publisher to check what you've typed. And speaking about chatting, my number 4 point is don't use emotes in English characters. There are some quests that ask you to use an emote, and yes, sure, you can see what they ask you because you have the patcher. It's /encourage. Don't type /encourage. Why don't you press Y on the keyboard and look there? That's also translated and you can just see encourage, click it, and it does it like that. Why do that? I've never typed /emotes in chat when I was questing. Matter of fact, on 2 of my accounts I've never chatted with anyone because my nickname there was not Saivo, so nobody had anything to tell me. And because of that, those 2 accounts, I feel that that's one of the reasons why they're still safe and I still have them. Number 5, never log in to the Stove or the Lost Ark website directly from the website. Never do that unless you absolutely have to, and there is only one time when you have to, and we're gonna discuss this when we get to the pictures with errors thing. Number 6 is a very straightforward one, and I hope it's something that you've never done anyway, is to deposit real money in Korea. This is the dumbest thing that you can possibly do, period, out of all of these points. Simply because of 2 reasons. Number 1, it's Lost Ark Korea, my boy. It's Korea. It's not Russia, it's not your region, it's Korea. Why and what exactly from the cash shop you could ever wanna purchase in order for you to take the risk of depositing that real money? Not only you lose whatever real money you deposit, but you also give your credentials to the guys that sold you your account, because they are the ones who eventually are gonna log in with those credentials from their country, which is probably not Korea, it's China, and somehow they're gonna purchase those cash shop points and add them to your account by using their most likely fishy or flagged or whatever PayPal accounts or whatever sources they have to give you that real money. There is so many things that raise question marks here, but at the bare minimum, please take this. The guy who's buying you the cash points, because it's not you, it's some other guy, is logging in with your account with a completely different IP than what ExitLag provided you for the past 3 months. That's already a flag. Hey, listen, so far the guy logged in with a Korean IP. Now there is another guy, or the same guy, is logging in with a different Korean IP. This is already a flag that you shouldn't be taken. And on top of that, you lose real money, and it's so dumb to deposit in Lost Ark, period. Not to mention deposit in Lost Ark Korea. I've deposited in this game, I admit. But it's not smart. We do dumb things, but please don't do dumb things at the cost of your Korean account. What's the point in that? Point number 7 is about not swapping very often in between ExitLag servers. When you connect to Stove, there's a KR download there, right? So Stove goes through that. Now the actual game, you set it up separately through the Lost Ark KR thing in ExitLag. Now, don't every month swapping between KR05, then KR06, then KR07. Don't be obsessed. Your ping is gonna be shit anyway, whichever KR you use. Now, in the rare occurrence when one of the KR servers in ExitLag for Korea does not actually work at all, then sure, you're free to swap. But if you've started your account with a specific KR server, go with that until that doesn't work anymore. Now, granted, it's not the biggest thing in the world because Koreans also play from a variety of LAN cafes, right? And those have different IPs, etc. So it's not the biggest thing. But why take this chance? For what reason exactly? There is no gain from swapping in between KR servers for Lost Ark Korea. And listen, at the end of the day, I just want to say that we're guests there. You shouldn't be doing anything that is out of the ordinary. You should just be silent, play your Holy Knight, see if you like the class, and then log off and, I don't know, play Guild Wars 2 until Lost Ark comes out. This is how you should see these things. The more things you do, the more you get involved into esports in Korea, and oh my god, you're so cool there because you have 3 million shillings. The more chances you have to fuck up. This is my point. Now, as I promised at the beginning of the video, let's go through a couple of errors that you can encounter for Lost Ark Korea. The website that I use to check what is written in a picture, because Korean games, MMORPGs, tend to use pictures with text on top very often. So I use this website Yandex to translate all of my pictures. Let's start from this one right here, where I just have them saved on my desktop. We're just gonna drag them here, and then Yandex loads them up, and then we just drag, and this is the error. There was a problem with the network. To check the status and try again. So this was how the error looks. If you get this, that means one of the few things. One, you don't have ExitLag running with the Stove client on and you've logged in, which is a boo-boo, as I said before. Two, your internet is just that poor that there's just no connection in between you, ExitLag, and the Korean servers. And number three, there's a maintenance ongoing, and it's one of those big ones that happens rarely, and you just simply cannot even log into the service. This is not such a big problem. This is something that you just close the Stove client. You make sure that all of your connections with VPN, etc., and internet are working fine before you try again. Let's take error number 2 here. This is how it looks, and when you get this, you're fucked. Basically, there is nothing else that you can do. This is the error that you see when your account has been flagged in such a way, or after so many boo-boos of yours, in which you need to verify it with the phone number. There is no phone number on 95% of the accounts that you purchase from these websites that can verify this particular thing. The same website, this New Gameway that sells you the account, also has a service for like $3 that re-verifies your account. This only applies for those very few accounts which have been actually created with a phone number that they have or some owner of the account in Korea has. It's slim chances that they will be ever able to verify your account. The next error looks like this in Korean, and if you translate it, it says that the game has a recording image installed and the buttons are deleting an installation of immers. Now this happens when you've closed the Stove client and then closed the English patcher. Next time you launch the Stove client, it's going to tell you that the files you have in your game files are different than the ones they should be, and it's not going to start the game for you with or without the English patcher on. So these two buttons, this one means delete the whole game and start all over with a fresh installation, and this one means check the game and just do a file check and make sure the files that are needed are there and are correct. Obviously, you should press this orange button in this case, and it's not a big deal, but it's something that could potentially be flagged. Next one here is something that looks like this, and if you translate it, it says it's not connected for a long time, it's dormant, switched immediately, month 2, and then identify yourself. Now see, if this means that you haven't logged into your Korean account for, I think it was over 3 months, in which case you need, if you want to reactivate this dormant account, you need to identify yourself with the phone number. This error, if you see it, you can say again goodbye to your account because you cannot identify yourself with a phone number. Yeah, and then you can get this when you enter your username and password wrong. This is again not a problem. I also wanted to talk about an error that is quite often and it's quite important. I just don't have a picture of it. It's the one that pops up right after you log in, and you have an option here on gray that says 30 days, something with 30, and then the other option you have on an orange button. That is the game asking you to change your password because you haven't changed your password in a very long time, and you should change your password. Now, most people, including the ones who sell you your account, tell you you should never change the password for this account. Now I'm telling you the opposite. You should change your password when that error pops here after you start the Korean launcher. You should not press the 30-day, give me a break for 30 days, Lost Ark. You should press the orange button and go to their website and change the password. Now, it's very important that if you are gonna change your password for the game, which happens maybe once in a year that the game asks you to change the password, and it's okay to do it then, you would be extremely careful on how you do it, and I'm gonna show you. And this ties into my point where I told you, why would you ever log into their website? There is only one time when you should. This is the one time in your life when you should actually log into the Stove website. You're going to go to exit log and you're going to go to browser, and whichever one is your default browser, because if you click the orange button, the game takes your default browser and opens their Stove website that you change your password in with your default. So whichever one is your default browser, for me, in my case, Chrome, I will take it to Korean download. I will put it like this, I will apply roots, and only then I would go back to my client and click that orange button to change my password. After you click the orange button, Chrome is going to open me a website that is extremely simple. It's your old password typed in once, which you have obviously saved from when you bought your account, and then 2 times your new password, and accept the terms of use. Click the button the orange button that continue, and you're done. You have your own password set for your account, which means that the previous people who sold you also cannot reclaim it very fast, because, by the way, sometimes they do that. Rarely they reclaim accounts because they have access to them and they can do whatever they want. It's their account, not yours. That's first of all. It's harder for them to reclaim, if not impossible, because they're just gonna get an account locked. And second of all, you're doing what the game is asking you, and you're not raising any flags that you do not want to change your password ever for 2 years of Lost Ark. You just want to stay with the same password, because your account that you buy for Lost Ark Korea might not have been created 5 minutes ago, a fresh fluffy account just for you. It might have been created in 2018 before the open beta even started, so you don't know what you're buying in reality. So I highly recommend that you change your password. I have done this for most of my accounts, not all, because I haven't been asked on all of them to, hey, give me 30-day break or change password. I haven't. But in the cases where I was asked, I changed my password. You have to make absolutely sure that exit log is configured, your default browser, before you click that button, because it's a direct link, to the password change form for your account, so they see your IP right away after you click it. It's configured to KR download, and then you change it. Yeah, and that was everything for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something, and I really hope that your accounts are going to stay safer after watching this. I also want to do a giveaway at the end of this video for those of you who have watched it up until this point. The keyword is 2030, because in the year 2030 we're gonna have Lost Ark in the West, Kappa Kappa. So if you go down below in the comments and you include 2030 in your comment that you wanted to post anyway under my lovely videos, I'm going to give you a Korean account in my next video, which is as always on Sunday. I'm gonna pick a winner, one person that wins this particular Korean account, and then I'm gonna reply to your comment under this video and ask you for your Discord username, and you will reply to me with it, and I will pass it to you privately on Sunday evening if you're available, or later, I don't really mind. I wish you guys lots of love. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'm gonna see you really soon.